Hello, good evening, and welcome to this slightly delayed but live as ever Super League Sunday. We have reached game week 17 and the last fixture before the cup action returns for the quarterfinals on Thursday. And I'm delighted to say, joining me this evening with his latest new hairstyle, the man who has more haircuts than David Beckham himself, and the man who I understand has moved out of the kitchen so people stop accusing him of having flashy three-story houses. It's Dan the Gazelles man. How are you, pal?
Yeah, good evening all. Yeah, haven't been kicked out of the kitchen. The wife sold the dining table, so I've had to move into the living room.
What you mean is you've got the I'm a Celebrity final on in the background to watch Jill Scott eating testicles.
No, TV's off. TV's off.
And I see the director of football is in attendance in the crowd. He said he's loving the Christmas tree. Thank you, mine. So I put a little bit extra pressure on you, knowing that he's watching.
No, we normally talk about lineups and things, and he's happy with what we're doing. So, no, all good.
Excellent. Let's have a quick review of where we are then. So last time out was the individual game where Haggis beat Bostock 3-1 before going on to become Continental Cup champions. Prior to that, we had a 7-goal thriller between Astor and Dragons, which has prompted a recording to be sent to me of my own South American style commentary. We've got Badgers. They won the 5-goal thriller. There was another 7 goals shared between Fulchester and East Coast. Burn winning 1-0. Yourselves picking up a very handy 3-0 win away at Triple P. And then you've got the Vikings winning 1-0 away at the Pirate Celtics. That left the league table looking like this. Burn currently 5 points clear of Vikings, who are a point clear of yourselves and Coast. Fulchester, Stanley and Haggis a further 2 points behind. Casuals there 23. Then you've got Dragons and Badgers 22. Celtics on 20. And then the gap starts to appear again with Triple P 15, White Rose 13, and Astor 10. A little over halfway through the campaign. This is obviously your first full season as manager. How have you found it? 8 wins, 5 defeats, 3 draws, scoring plenty of goals, but conceding maybe a couple too many?
Yeah, we went on that really bad run, didn't we, where we lost 2-0 4 times in a row. If we'd taken a couple of them out, we would have been doing a lot better. It's a big game for us tonight, though, because a lot of the top 6 are playing each other or people around. Could do with picking up a win here. Same for Celtics, though. Celtics win and suddenly they're back in the mix of the top 6 again. So.
Yeah, you say there about teams playing each other. Just having a look. That Dragons-Haggis game looks massive with both teams scoring goals for fun as well. Coast should coast through it against Astor, you'd imagine. You've already mentioned your game there. Burn, Stanley, massive game. Fulchester Vikings could be an incredible game. Casuals, Triple P, both sides really need a win. And then Rose Badgers, which has all the potential to be entertaining, is probably the least, for want of a better phrase, the least important fixture of the evening.
Yeah, some good games in there tonight. Should be a good one.
And you've kindly
could
agreed.
Go really well for us. Could go rubbish.
Well, indeed. And you've kindly agreed, because the gentleman you are, to break with tradition of COCOMs and go first so that Greasy can watch his game before going to sleep.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine by me. I'm not that bad. If we lose, we lose. It won't change how I feel about it. It's fine.
Well, let's have a look at your team first. And you are at home. Last time you guys met, it was a 2-0 win at their place against 10 men with Redondo being sent off. Adilson picked up 2 goals that day before the red card. He does not make the starting 11 this time. Willie Sagnall makes the bench for the first time since signing there.
Yeah, the Rivaldo injury kind of changed what we had to do a bit. Had a couple of choices with what we could do. Loads of people been saying Mendieta shouldn't be playing right wing back, so he's got his chance on the right side of a central 3. We'll see how he gets on. He's got abilities on the bench to take it up a bit if we need to. Adilson a bit unlucky, to be honest, but this is only third game for Saviola, so give him a bit more of a chance in there.
Obviously, we've been working in and out of a transfer window. You've added Arca and Saniel most recently. One of the few teams not to complete their full 7 years. Is that because you don't feel you need to, or the value wasn't in the market for you?
Yeah, a bit of both, really. I didn't get that many great offers, but then at the start of the season, we were told the squad wasn't very good, so I wasn't expecting offers for a lot of players. The people
Currently
I got offers
fourth
for,
best in the division.
Yeah, the people I got offers for, people asked about Kivu, Mendieta, Nedved, all players that can't go anywhere for me. Yeah, they're the spine on my side.
Just received a message there to say hello to Brazil. So I believe Brazil speak Portuguese, don't they? So just Olá, Brazil, because that's sort of Portuguese and Spanish. I'm hoping I've not just ruined a whole fan base by speaking a completely different language. But hello to Brazil. Sounds a bit Eurovision, that. Brazil are calling. Let's have a look at the... I say have a look. You've mentioned the team there, and Mendieta moving forward. Arca's come into the team. Saviola's getting another run out. Saviola and Pizarro is an exciting partnership on paper. You're just waiting for it to click?
Yeah, hopefully. I hoped for a bit more out of Adilson. He started the season really well and then went a bit quiet. I think, I can't remember who said it before. It might have been Ian said actually had the same with him. Started really well and then went a bit quiet. So give him a couple of games off, see if I can get anything out of Saviola.
We've got Jens there doing the job that I clearly couldn't do by writing it in fluent Brazilian language, where Martin says, starting a colonial war less than 10 minutes into the stream. We got a message directly from you, from Maka. Haynes lad, how old are you? Impressive to still have a full head of hair to mess about with.
I'm 41 next week. So, yeah.
41 next week? Happy birthday for next week, Dan.
Cheers. Thank you.
Let's have a look at the opposition then. Do you want to give Saniel any particular number?
No, any's fine. Yeah.
Any is fine. So that brings us to Celtics. As always, they have been very, very busy in the transfer window. As Maka says, good lad, happy birthday.
Cheers, thank you.
And a number, you will see a lot of Brazilians in this league, says Alf. Celtics have mixed it up a little bit. They've gone with what they're referring to as the boobies tactic. That sees Morientes come out of the squad entirely. New key signing Gattuso partnering Gazelles in that holding midfield role. Maldini is now partnered by Vrede. Raul, the single support to Shevchenko.
Yeah, it's a strong side, and I think he's done some really good transfers, to be honest. I was asking about Beckham, but then saw he'd put a message saying he'd got him. So, yeah, impressive with that. That DMC line, CIOS was brilliant for us in the last season. Gattuso good as well. Very strong in the middle. So, yeah, be a tough game. I don't think it will quite be the 2-0 it was first time round.
I must admit, actually, the legend that is Mr. Swan, after sending me a message to say he didn't think he was going to be able to get the predictions in time, after he saw that there was a slight delay, he frantically got them into me. So let's have a look here. Predictions here, 9 predictions of a Gazelles win, 7 for a draw, just 3 for a Celtics win.
Yeah, I don't like being the favourite. I prefer to be underdog again, have been all season, so always a bit of a worry.
Oh, and as Martin predicted, always going to be a ghost game when you agree to go early, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Sorry, Greasy.
Sorry, Greasy. Tried. We'll have to disagree. He said 2-0 win to me if we went first, so, we'll have to have a proper game there.
Never one to be afraid to promote other stuff. Raphael has a YouTube channel with a Stenhouse Muir save on CMO 102. There you go. Congrats all for the season. Thank you very much. Everyone laughing that the ghost game has happened as Martin predicted. Good night, gents. See you tomorrow, says Greavesy. Makes a change for the Badgers, says Tato. Right. Let's just hit them in any order then. So Casuals hosting Triple P. And here is the lineup Rob has gone with. He's changed the formation again and gone with garbage. And he's gone for a very sort of empty midfield area and crowding the AM positions to support Crespo.
Yeah, he's got a couple of very decent players in there. We played them the other week, and actually we made it look quite easy, but I really wasn't expecting it, to be honest. So, yeah, you never really know what you're going to get. Some weeks are absolutely brilliant, and other weeks just don't seem to be at it.
Well, not too dissimilar to what happened a couple of weeks ago when they won, having had nobody predict them to. Casuals have got 17 out of 19 people predicting them to win, one prediction of a draw and one prediction of a Triple P win. Crespo, obviously, the standout player in this team. Candea, massive as well on that left-hand side. Brozek should become very influential. And obviously, we've seen in the past what Petit can do as well in terms of leadership qualities.
Yeah, I like Petit in there. Yeah, very good. Brozek, really good for the reserves and for the Australian side. So, yeah, should do okay. That's a good AMC, really, isn't it? Del Sandro, Loco, and Brozek. Maybe not straight away, but next season, season after, definitely.
Yes, Scott, good evening, welcome. This is the first game after the official first game, Ghost Game, so it's going back to the end where it's supposed to have been. As for Casuals, Soroczynski suspended. Have you seen this team yet? Was it posted?
I don't know if I have, actually, no.
Okay, I think you'll like it, Dan.
Oh, wow, okay.
Your initial thoughts, other than wow?
Yeah, I'd be slightly concerned that they're playing 3 AMCs and you've got one at the back and one DMC. But I suppose if you just attack, then you don't have to worry about defence too much. That's yeah, he's going for it.
He certainly is. So we've got Cepeda, Casano, and Lopez supporting Clive. I'd say Roberto and Zambrotta out wide as well. Veron moving more advanced from that centre midfield position. If you are to leave just two people in defensive positions, Decor and Taram are not bad to pick, are they?
No, very good. Yeah, I really like Decor. Yeah.
Ian going straight in with a 2-1 Casuals win. Let's see if this one can avoid a ghost game as well. It has. So can I ask you for your prediction, please?
I had in the predictions, I just had a look. I had 2-1 Casuals as well. So
2-1 Casuals as well. Let's see if you are correct. It's a very quick start by the home side. And there's Cliver for his 100th league goal of his career. And there's 2.
Oh, wow.
And Cliver has got 2 in 10 minutes. Triple P are in absolute disarray at the minute. What can Rob do to sort this out? Rock's loving one at the back. He loves the madness, as said in the chat. Triple P slowly playing their way back into this. Crespo getting a bit more involved. Can Casuals keep this 2-goal lead before half-time? There's another opportunity for the away side. It's a shoot-on-side policy at the minute for the Red and Blues, but they cannot force it over the line. And half-time whistle goes, and a quick-fire Cliver double sees Casuals go in 2-0 at the breakdown.
Yeah, entertaining game. Yeah, lots of chances. Seems to be pretty even apart from the 2 goals. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do at half-time, especially the formations.
Alf suggesting that attack is the best form of defence. Let's have a look at Rox saying glorious, Hodgie. Let's see just how glorious it is. Veron having an astonishingly good game in that centre midfield with the advancing diagonal run.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Who did they swap him for?
Veron?
Yeah, he was at White Rose, wasn't he?
He was. It was Veron and Decor came in for Vieira and Guerrero.
Yeah.
Tato suggesting that this strikes me as a gung-ho Walton formation, all or nothing. He's saying, as is, please. Rob saying awful. Again, he just wasn't ready for this. And in walks glass half empty Tato, bemoaning the pitches having more than 50% grass covering and the pies having less than 40% gravel in them. Let's have a look at Triple P stats. And somehow, Molina there, despite conceding 2 on a 9 rating, Roque Jr. is really struggling. And the further forward you get, I mean, that is not what you want to see. D'Alessandro, Makoki, Brozek, and Crespo all rating 6.
Yeah, the passing stats very low as well. Not a single person over 20. Yeah, although they still created a lot of chances. So
they did. So Rob making a change to Mackay for Taunton. And go 3 up top. I'm presuming a little bit like that, Rob. He needs to come to Scotland more often. Taunton, is he having a nap? Asks Rox. So I believe this is how Triple P will be lining up for the second half. On the assumption that's correct. Your thoughts, please, Dan?
Yeah, he's got to go for it, hasn't he? Got to go for it. They've got 1 at the back. Might as well throw 3 up front and see what happens.
Tato saying, not sure that had the impact you wanted it to have, Rox. Took you longer to type than impact made, I'd guess. Rob confirming that is how he wants to go. So we roll to 60. See how that tactical change for Triple P affects things. Homeside starting the half quickly again. Veron with a good opportunity. Clivert misses another one to go for his hat trick. Oh, I've gone a minute early there, I think. That's fine. Much like a Van der Vaart performance. So more or less the hour mark. Still 2-0 to Casuals with the sweet baby Jesus formation. They started both halves quite quickly. They've not managed to add any additional goals, but do they fear a Triple P resurgence like we saw in that first half? Or
it's a tough one, isn't it? At 2-0, do you bring the wingers back to wing backs? Give a bit more fight in there. Perhaps take the hour off Cepeda as well. He's not doing great in there, but or would you just go with?
Hodgie is saying as is. Rob's saying no, they won't fear it because they're wank. Even in Swanee, Steve, for the love of champ, use some grammar, says Mike Savage. Molina's still on his 9 rating. None of the attacking options have improved their ratings. Mackay suffering the curse of the 6s as well. What more can Rob do here to try and force the game?
Yeah, what's he got on the bench? Chris Sutton, Richie Wellens. You're not really going to swap Emerson for Wellens. I think he's just got to go with it, really.
Just go with it is the suggestion. Chris Sutton has been known to make an impact in the Super League before. Rob suggesting the only answer is to resign. No, Mike, too many teachers about, says Steve. Tater saying he ignores these comments if they are undecipherable. Mate, you want to see some of the messages I get from managers trying to understand and work out what they're trying to do tactically and player-wise. And then you get shit like last night after I sent out all the packs and a drunk Ian, which I believe he was at a wedding, just sending absolute spam. Ridiculous. I hope you had fun, though, Ian.
Yeah, there were some good messages from you last night.
I just gave up, finished watching Bad Boys and went to sleep. So while we wait for confirmation from Rob, if he wants to try anything here, just a reminder, as I said in the intro, Thursday night we'll see a break from league action as it's the quarterfinals of the Cmsl Cup. Marching towards glory, Dan.
Yeah, I won both my games and then ended up drawing team top of the table in Bern, so that was a bit odd. Ian Campbell sends his apologies for last night's spam messages.
Rob keeping things the same. Let's resume the action. For fuck's sake, Stephen, says Hodgie. Not a fan of the cups, as we know. Besides, mainly because he lost both of his games and lost badly. There was no need to slow this down. Triple P has shown no intent to get back into this. And Casuals, with this formation, put an end to their bad run of form with a stunning performance and a much-needed 2-0 win.
Yeah, very good. 17 shots on goals, 13 on target. I think he might be tempted to keep that formation for a bit.
Is it because it worked really well, or just because they've come up against an abject and basically just fucking terrible Triple P side?
Until he plays it again, I don't think we'll know, to be honest. Perhaps he's found a formation, but yeah, Triple P didn't help.
Patrick Cliver getting man of the match. He's one of 3 players there rating a 9 alongside Zeriberto and Veron. There was a 6 in there. Zepeda, amazingly running towards the corner flag, doesn't get you a great rating.
Their 6 is a bit harsh, though. What's that? 39, 20, 29 complete. I suppose. Oh, he only had 1 tackle, no shots on target. But when the rest of your team has been that convincing, you'd be disappointed to come off with a 6.
Some instant reaction coming in from other managers as well, including Rob himself, who says Casuals should be ashamed they only won 2-0. Let's have a look at the Triple P stats. Still, Molina maintained his 9 rating. D'Alessandro as captain, dropping to a 5. Brozek improved in the second half, but Crespo did not.
That's interesting from Crespo. 4 shots on target. You'd normally expect one of those to go in from Crespo.
Crespo, yeah, 4 shots on goal. Just a 2 on target, though.
2 on target, yeah.
Welcome to the How Do You Win a Game Club, Rob, says Alf. Hodgie says, I've shown half of exactly what I've done. Can't really use it too often. Rob says it'll show Alf in the cup. Congratulations to One Casuals, has said, much needed win for them. Game number 1 for tonight. And next we go to White Rose, who have Samuel suspended and the on loan Franca ineligible against his parent club, Badgers, who they play today. It's a slight alteration in tactic. And new signing Bojan Jordic makes his debut, partnering Nicky Ferenko in support of Luca Toni.
Yeah, I like Jurovic. Yeah, good player. Can get very good on the game. Rose are an interesting one. They seem to hit upon a tactic that was working really well, but got a lot of stick for it. So changed it up, got a couple of wins with something else. And I did wonder if they'd go back to it, but not at the moment.
You see that DM line. I mean, the wing backs are good enough as it is, but you see Button, Vieira, and you think, how the fuck are we getting past this, don't you?
Yeah. And then Ronnie Johnson was probably their best player for the first, 7-8 games, and he's now on the bench. But yeah, that's very strong, isn't it?
Tato very happy to get his game out of the way nice and early. Ghost game permitting. So, of course, last time out, for the first time ever, we had 2 ghost games in one episode. Last time out, Badgers won 2-0, courtesy of a man of the match performance from Van der Vaart and goals from substitutes Gini and Davidov. Let's see if they all feature tonight or not. And the answer, as you can see, is no. Last time out, Badgers had that, as we said in the start, that 3-2 game with Casuals. Dyer and Van Bronckhorst absolutely smashing it, reunited the former Devils wingbacks and picking up where they left off in the previous save. And you see them there keeping their positions tonight.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. It's strange, isn't it? You see some of the transfers go through and you think, oh, I don't know if I do that. Then you see him put out the sides and you're like, all right, yeah, I can see why he's done that. Exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same tonight. Yeah.
I think the Badgers team look very good with Dyer and Van Bronckhorst there. But also, I commented to Tato when he sent me the transfers about just how much better his attacking options look. And they've added Olasadabi in. He will potentially make his debut from the bench. He played 2 games for Haggis this year in the Continental Cup, scoring 3 goals and getting an assist. So he comes in decent form as well.
Yeah, some good attacking options there. Palmero on the bench as well. Yeah, and he must be the only person in the world that's found out how to get something out of Van der Vaart. So that's impressive.
Impressive indeed. Let's have a look at the home side next. Oh, no, we did that. Did we? Oh, yeah, of course we did. Can I ask you your predictions, please?
I can't remember what I put. Let me have a quick look what I put. I did 1-1 here. Draw.
You've predicted a 1-1, and Mr. Swan reliably informs me that the predictions were quite tight on this one. 8 people backing Rose, 6 for the draw, 5 for a Badgers win. Let's see which of those groups is correct. Martin saying home win, surely. We will soon find out as the away side come forward. Can't miss, but does by Van Nistelrooy. Rose coming forward now themselves, creating a couple of opportunities. Tato saying home win all day. You'd be far pressed to not back a side that has Butt and Vieira partnering each other in holding midfield. But they're just failing at the other end of the pitch at the minute to score. Could that come back to bite them? As now the away side start to come forward themselves. We get to half time. Again, an interesting half. Both sides creating chances.
Yeah, definitely not a boring 0-0. It's been a decent game. Very equal at half time.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the home.
I'll be happy with that.
Jordic not exactly having the impact required on his debut. Mixes of 6s, 7s, and 8s throughout the side. But no yellow cards, crucially, and no obvious fitness concerns. Based on what you saw stats-wise and when you look at the individual player performances, anyone you think needs to be hooked to improve Rose's chances of winning?
I might be tempted to swap Tony for Hussein, but I think he's had a couple of poor games the last few weeks, and that's why he's out at the moment. Vieira on a 7 is disappointing, but I'm sure wasn't there a game the other week when he was on the 5 at half time and ended up
man of the match. Yeah, he did indeed. Well remembered. Most negative, positive man I've known, Tato. I presume he's not referring to you, and he's actually talking to Tato there, Dan. Let's have a look at the Badgers. Who want to extend the wingback arrows 1 notch. Let's press these twats back. And that's all he's doing till 60. So no changes for the Badgers other than the tactical tweak. Understandable from your perspective?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're 2 decent players. I don't think you have a problem with fitness or anything, them 2 getting up and down. So be fine with that.
Steve saying as is as well. So we roll till 60. Both managers backing their lineups to get the job done. And it's the away side coming forward with more purpose. Agahawa the latest to miss an opportunity. But are they leaving spaces at the back? And on the hour mark, Van Nistelrooy opens the scoring. It is 1-0 to the Badgers. Big, big goal that, Dan.
Yeah, huge goal, isn't it? Yeah, massive. Van Nistelrooy is one of the players, and if you can get him in a run of form, he's going to get you a lot of goals, but he can go games and games without doing anything.
He most certainly can. And that completely changes the outlook of how Steve looks at this 60-minute mark substitution.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to look at Joe Cole, isn't he, from here?
Joe Cole, a likely replacement of Hussein as well, potentially. Go 2 up top.
Yeah, perhaps Jurovic and Mickey Franco off. Cole and Hussein on 2 up front. Joe Cole behind.
Well, interestingly, Steve's saying as is, despite the fact of knowing he's sitting there on 76% fitness. Wrong one. As for the Badgers, again, it changes Tato's thinking because now They were a goal up.
Yeah, it's sort of just a typical Van Nistelrooy performance, 6 and a goal.
6 and a goal. Absolutely. Interesting to see if Steve's decision not to change anything alters the thought process of Tato as well, because maybe looking at one thing, expecting Steve to make a change, or is he thinking that Steve's seen something and he's worried now and he wants to keep things exactly how it is?
He's been doing all right. I don't think he's been under a lot of pressure. I think he might stick. Like we said, again, a very strong DMC line, so he'll be happy with that.
Remove huge arrows and go back to 1 notch, please. Okay, they got their goal. They're being restricted again. Agahauer off for Swichowski. And that will do him. Your thoughts on Swichowski and him coming on at this junction in the game?
To be honest, not a player I've ever known before, done anything with. An interesting choice, but stats are there. Versatile. That's what you want, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's resume the action. Hour on the clock. Badgers 1 to the good and making the personnel change. And there's Luca Toni with his first ever goal for White Rose to level things up. Will that deflate the Badgers, or will they keep coming forward? It looks like they're going to keep coming forward, searching for a winner after being ahead for just over 10 minutes. We're into injury time. One last chance. Rose fails to convert, and this one ends 1 apiece. Both sides creating though.
Yeah, decent 1-all there. I think, to be honest, both would be quite happy with that. So, maybe Tato slightly disappointed that took the lead and then conceded, but
well, Tato's suggesting it was boring. I don't know how any game that has 25 shots of goal could be boring, if I'm quite honest.
2 decent keeper performances, I reckon.
Really dull results. Steve will be buzzing with that, says Tato. Shite Rose living up to their name. Dede picks up man of the match. Pellizzoli, they're also rating a 9, and just one player in Gary Neville rating below a 7. Decent performance that by the home side.
Yeah. Steady all through. They'll be pretty happy with that. Probably a bit disappointed in the end not to nick it.
Absolutely.
What did Vieira do in the end? Oh, he got up to an 8. Yeah.
As for Badgers, Kieran Dyer, they're getting another 9 rating. And this story moving up to an 8 after his goal. Fairly strong showing, really.
Yeah, as you say, I think both will be quite happy. Van Bronckhorst an 8 as well. So,
well, congratulations to both sides on picking up a point here this evening. Next, the Titanic tussle between Northern Burn and Bostock Stanley. How do they go about just sorting this form? I mean, they won 5-0 last time out again. The time previous against Rose, but before the cup, they weren't in great form. Looking back at the results there, Dan, and then losing 3-1 to Haggis as well has left them in an ominous position.
Yeah, everybody's favourites at the start of the season, I think. Started really well, sort of dropped off a bit, but can still pick up points. Again, another good side. He's gone with a narrow formation as well. I think Alf tried the same kind of thing earlier in the season. It didn't work for him, but poor old Alf, not a lot's working for him at the moment. So
no, absolutely not.
True test.
Couple of changes to the side sees Malewski coming to make his debut, and Tomadira returned to the bench as an attacking option. As for Northern Burn, last time out, they beat White Rose 1-0. Last time out in this fixture, Stanley themselves won 2-1. Burn go unchanged.
Yeah, they're a strong side, aren't they? Ian's got them playing really well. So his Alco will just, we've said, like Van Nistelrooy, probably end up on 6, score twice. So, yeah, Kiel, Keane behind him, very good. Not sure on Fiore in centre midfield, but it's not like he's doing a bad job. So.
No, of course not. And a score prediction, please.
Again, I can't remember what I said. I think I had a Burn win here. So I'd say 2-0.
2-0 to Northern Burn, coming from the co-commentator. As for the official Swan Super 7 fact sheet that I was sent, this has... Where is this game? 10 of the 10 of the 19 backing Burn, 8 for the draw, and just one person backing Stanley for the win. Something of a surprise, in my opinion, that. But it's 1-0 to the home side. It's Fiore opening scoring for Burn. A much less likely goal scorer than normal. Obviously, you already mentioned Sigalko, obviously on the pitch doing bits this season. Just coming up to half hour, and Oliver Kahn has been sent off. That is absolutely massive, Dan.
Yeah. Who's his sub-keeper, is he?
Sub-keeper is the young...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's huge, isn't it? Especially Khan as well.
Absolutely. Although, I might have got that one wrong. I think that's supposed to be Mazzantini, to be fair. But there we go. At least he's got a goalkeeper, unlike the Swindon Town women, who I went to watch earlier today, and their goalkeeper got injured, and they didn't have a sub-goalkeeper.
Really?
So one of the players that we sponsor as a podcast. Oh, no, hang on. That was Martin, not Scott. Honsho is the replacement and going one at the back.
Wow.
Game over. This will be 4-0, says Haggis. Del Piero taking the captain's assignment. I'm presuming this has gone to a penalty then.
Yeah.
So half an hour on the clock. Ian, if you want to make any changes with a red card, of course, you are allowed to. In fact, I've already seen he was already on top of it, as is. So let's see how this penalty goes. Sigalko runs up and scores. Was it ever in any doubt? And there's another one. It's Scally, makes it 3-0 to the home side. Stanley are in terrible, terrible form at the minute. This is another massive, not only massive gain in terms of points dropped, on the assumption it stays like this, of course, we are only at half time, but another massive dent into their early season goal difference as well.
Yeah, definitely. Could have done with a draw in this one as well with the league positions. My next 2 games actually are Burn in the Cup and then the league. So,
interesting week or so for you then against Mr. Edwards. Mr. Savage asking if he can amend his prediction for this game. We're looking at the Burn stats here. All 3 goals scored by different people. Some low numbers in terms of passes, though.
Yeah. Jeremy's 9-7. Perhaps he's just not had a lot to do, to be honest. Cizalco, what's that? 4 passes, 3 complete. Yeah, you don't want him to do a lot more. That's it. I wonder if he might be tempted to give him a bit of a rest.
Scott saying roll till full time, not even till 60, without seeing stats, and that is very, very, very average, isn't it?
Yeah. He's a bit stuck with what he can do, though, isn't he? So.
He certainly is indeed. Scally for Chunso. Swap with Kuehl. So Burn, sensing blood here, are going to go for goals tonight.
Yeah, might be worth it. See if we can get Chunsu on the score sheet.
Always good to play players into form when given the opportunity. Gamescon says, let's resume the second half. And on the hour mark, we pause so that Burn can make any further alterations they so wish. Quite a defense, both options defensive now, so I can't see Ian changing anything at this stage.
No, I don't think he'll change anything.
Just show the conditions as well. Does resting players come into play?
I'd be thinking about it, but like we said, it's cup next game, so perhaps depends if he's going to go full strength in the cup or.
Well, I imagine Mr. Savage will be taking charge of the cup game again.
Yeah.
Makes it almost impossible to predict what's coming, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say it could be anything.
Just swapping Keen and Leach and So is the only option. Scott's saying roll till 60. So what we'll do is we'll just very briefly flash up the player stats there and we will carry on. Interesting tactical tweak by Burn. Obviously, see something in swapping them over sides. 71 now on the clock as Burn continue to come forward, looking for a fourth. Heading towards the final 10 minutes. Have 10-man Stanley got anything in reply at all here? The answer seemingly is no. But the damage didn't get any worse, and the game concludes 3-0.
Yeah, routine victory for Burn there. I think they'll be slightly disappointed they didn't get another one or another two. Stanley probably did quite well in the end to limit it.
Let's have a look at Burn more specifically then. Sigalka getting man of the match. Everyone bar Harry Kuehl rating 8 or higher. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No, very good. Yeah, good.
How does you, not you specifically, although you will be asked the question next time it arises, how do you stop an informed Sigalka?
That's a good question, really. I think he doesn't generally score from nothing, so I suppose you have to cut off as much of the supply as possible. But yeah, I don't know. It's the answer. We'll find out next game when he sticks 4 past us. The interesting bit there is Roberto Carlos with his 3 shots, 3 on target. Left wing back.
Food for thought to protect the wings.
Yeah.
Macca's suggesting Sigalko ruining football. What about Stanley there? And they didn't look like much of a threat for a prolonged period during that game. The substitute goalkeeper actually did rate a 9. They had some decent performances. I can see an 8 there for Ibrahim Said.
Yeah, actually did all right in the end, didn't they? Lost 3-0, but you can say, they did all right. Yeah, good performance by the sub-keeper.
I saw Ian
create a lot from there.
I saw Ian suggesting in Campbell Scott needs to bin the narrow now.
I don't think it was a fair test of it, really, was it?
He's had a few games now and it hasn't brought the success I think Scott was hoping for, though.
No, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's something that I think we all know works against the AI, but another thing in the
clearly not against Northern Burn.
Yeah. I've got a nice narrow formation that I'm just waiting for mine to start going wrong, and then I might break out, but we'll see.
And this is the game that the purists of Super League have been waiting for. Inform Haggis travelling to Inform Dragons. Both teams scoring goals. And the big news for Haggis, after the Continental Cup, they were allowed their reserve swaps because they didn't get them same time as everyone else. And Jimenez, who comes in having scored 12 goals in 5 Continental Cup games during the week. He comes not only into the first team, but into the starting lineup. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, deserves a go, doesn't he? He was very good in the Continental Cup games. Is this a slightly different tactic from Haggis as well?
No, they tend to alternate whether they play a flat 4 or 2 behind 3. I think it depends on whether they're home or away.
That's fair enough. The Giggs injury will be a miss for him. definitely. But Donny's a decent replacement.
And Rakoba in for a debut as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you can get anything out of him, because I think he was talked up quite a bit, wasn't he, in the draft, and then didn't really get a chance.
Let's have a look then at what Dragons are doing. And you won't be surprised to know it's minimal changes. Gerard dropping back to DM, Roy Keane coming in central midfield, and an enforced change at left back as well, but nothing else to boot. New signing Roman Fyfie gets a place on the bench.
Yeah, they're form side at the moment, aren't they? What are they, 6 wins out of 6, something like that?
6 and 6, yeah.
Yeah, so
having gone 10 without a win.
Our absolute bogey side as well. We just can't get anything out of them. They thrash us every time we play. So, hence why we've tried to move the rivalry on to Fulchester and Macca, just because we stand a chance there.
Your thoughts on everyone calling out Nesta as being the worst Nesta that's ever featured?
Stats-wise, he certainly isn't, is he? But
No.
I think, to be honest, I'd swap him for one of my centre-backs if he was interested. So, I always think he's decent.
No, absolutely. He's very, very capable. As I said, Fyfie there getting a place on the bench. Keane, Bowyer, Gerard, we mentioned Butt and Vieira earlier. That should be a tough midfield to break down as well, shouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Gerard started with us, but I've said before, no way is he playing for a side that I'm in charge of. So he was straight out the door.
And Cafu, I believe, currently, I might be wrong, I seem to recall, top of the average ratings in the division.
Yeah, decent right wing back. Yeah, very good.
This will be the game where Nesta gets a 9, says Rox. Let's find out if that's true, as Fyfie picks up the number 11 shirt. Interestingly, while I ask you what your prediction is, I can confirm 13 out of 19 predicting Dragons will win, 4 for the draw, and just two back in Haggis.
Yeah, I was one of the ones that went for a draw. I said 1-1 here. So Haggis on a bit of form, but then Dragons are as well. Could be anything.
Tato is glad to see Jimenez playing tonight. Let's see if he can recapture his Continental Cup form in the league. As we kick off Dragons versus Haggis. And Dragons with an early opportunity failing to convert. But they do this time through Archie back on 9 minutes. 1-0 to the home side. Live goes into the book. Looks like a slight injury there for Dragons, but nothing too serious. And we reach half-time. 1-0 to the Dragons. Haggis, having been in such great form, have created exactly 0.
Yeah, it seemed to be very Dragons dominated, that, didn't it?
It did indeed. The commentary did give that impression as well.
What's the history on a team making a run like that from not winning, what was it, first 10 to then?
No one springs to mind. Dragons themselves did go through, they did a kind of run during the season where the one season they finished bottom, they ended up finishing top the season after, but then losing out in the grand final. Let's have a look at the individual player stats. Back in Keown. What about them Dragons, says Jens. Back in Keown, the pick of the players. Nesta and Gerard not forming so well, but largely 7s throughout the squad. You mentioned the form they're in. Is it a case now that you're just trusting the players? Clearly the formation works and you just let them play their way into a game.
Yeah, I'd be sticking with that. Saying about Nesta, I suppose the yellow card takes him down a bit, but it seems a bit of a harsh 6, doesn't it?
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, good pass completion rate. He's only challenged for 2 headers, winning one of them. Could be a reason. Duggan going as is. Let's have a look at Haggis. Westerveld there on an 8. All the outfield players mixing between 6 and 7.
That's not a lot of touches for that.
No, you can see why they haven't created anything.
Yeah.
It's very, very poor indeed from Haggis, who themselves had been in great form.
I think they're really missing Giggs, aren't they?
They certainly are. He is critical to how they play. The sort of performance that we were all expecting from week 1. 7 from 7 would be some achievement nonetheless. So Tato very much backing Dragons to maintain this in the second half.
I think he's got to be looking at Figo, isn't he, coming on?
He's been in decent form this season, Figo. But equally, is he looking at it? It can't be that bad again.
True, yeah.
There is changes being made. Ashley Live coming off for Medina. And move Medina to MC, Simeone, DM. So he's kind of mirroring his attack and his defence there. With Figo also coming on for Mikhailivicchia. Happy with those changes?
Yeah, I think I might have done Recuba for Figo, but...
he's actually making all 3 changes at half-time. Would you consider doing that if the situation meant it was best, or would you always look to save one until later in the game?
I think I would have done 2 at half-time and waited for 60, but he knows what he's doing.
Let's resume the action and see if he does. Reaching the hour mark, no additional goals. Haggis wants to swap their midfielders round. Done that. As for Dragons, Keogh now up to a 9. Nesta still only on a 6, though. Looking at the subs bench and taking the score into account, do you see Duggan making too many alterations here?
No, I don't think he won't change a lot. He might be tempted with Nesta just because of the yellow card, but I don't think I'll take him off, to be honest.
And then just obviously Haggis using their full allocation substitutes, but making a slight tactical tweak in terms of the midfielders. Do you understand that one?
Yeah, he's just swapped it over.
Let's resume the action, see which one of those works out best for their respective clubs. Still Dragons come forward. Let's just slow this down. Put over the bar. Off free kick awarded. Jimenez takes it. Now on the counter. That's the low averages because he never breaks sweat, says Alf. And there's a yellow card for Gerrard this time. And it's 2 for the Dragons. Constantinu. Constantinu makes it 2. He has got a lot of challenge with the options behind him now, but he is going up to... yes, Ian, I've seen your message now. It's popped up on the screen. When you said... Sorry, mate. It didn't come through while I was still looking at Haggis. I'd already re-kicked off. I do apologise. But 2-0 to Dragons nonetheless. Haggis were creating absolutely nothing. Dragons firmly dominated.
Another good win for Dragons.
Can't shout things out when the 73rd minute flies by, says Tato. But yeah, that's 7 in a row now for Dragons.
Yeah, really good at the moment. But with the squad they had, that's what I think we were expecting from the start of the season. So
definitely. And it just makes a mockery of their first 10 games now, doesn't it?
Yeah, they just couldn't buy a win, could they? And then as soon as it clicked, was there a tactical change? You'll know. Did he make any big differences?
He made all sorts of tactical changes. He was changing it every week at one point just to try and make something happen.
He'll be happy with that. 2-0 win, pretty steady through, and then didn't even need Ronaldinho this week.
And Nesta managed to get up to a 7.
I think somebody said in the chat that he's just strolling about, and that seemed to be about right.
As for Haggis, Jimenez, mentioned him, hardly cheated, and it's hardly corruption if you're going to say it after I've already looked at your team to then go free up top. Maybe send you messages at the same time so that it gets done. But yeah, Jimenez got the big call up, and certainly playing in the Continental Cup is a different kettle of fish to playing in the Super League, it seems.
Yeah, I think he'll mainly be disappointed that the free subs seem to make absolutely no difference. That's all.
Doug is saying, fuck off, Campbell. If you weren't waiting on Rocks getting your subs to you, you'd have made it happen quicker. And Rocks with laughing emojis just put exits chat. Congratulations to Dragons, who are well and truly in that playoff mix now, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely flying, aren't they? Team to beat at the moment.
Next, we go to East Coast against Astor. Bottom of the league, Astor, which is quite unbelievable with the squad they've had. Did you pick Jimenez's brother by mistake, Fyfie? No. This is the same Jimenez that scored for fun in the Continental Cup. But playing up front for Fyfie is a lot different than playing up front for Ian and Rocks. Also, playing against Dragons is a lot different to playing against Cook Island semi-professional sides. So there you go. Maybe that's his level. Astor, yeah. So considering the squad at their disposal from the start of the season, even up to now, being bottom is something of a surprise. They've altered their tactic again, and they're playing Ndai in that centre-back role where most people are used to defensive midfield.
Yeah, as been proved, he's absolutely quality. He's good enough to play as a 1 in DMC. I'm surprised he isn't. We got out often because he was playing the players in the wrong positions. He then put them in the right positions and still lost anyway. So, difficult one, really. It's a strong squad, isn't it? Sorin and Zanetti, more wing backs, so I might have been tempted to drop them in as a free. Perez is a strange one on the right-hand side of central midfield, but it's still a strong side.
It most certainly is. I'm just going to leave the Coast team on the screen for you to talk through for a minute. As you can see, Ortega, they're injured. Vogel, 1 yellow away from a suspension. I'm just going to leave that on the screen for you to talk about a minute while I just go and take care of something.
Yeah, strong side, Coast. Really good. I like the attacking three. Anelka up front his own. He did well for us last year in the difficult Gazelles squad. Wouldn't have minded to take him back again, to be honest. I think Larsson's very good. Again, another player I quite like. And then strong left, right wing. Kerr in the middle is interesting. He can be brilliant. Sometimes isn't. I think he plays better on his own in there in MC, so that's an interesting one. Strong DMC, Vogel very good. Biscan very good as well. And 2 good centre-backs. So another strong side. Should be a decent game against Astor. Never sure really what you're going to get from Astor. Eventually, like Dragons, I think they will turn up and start winning games, probably when they play us. So,
very well done and very well timed. Just pulling up Swan's predictions again for this game specifically. Just 1 backing Astor for a win. 1 for the draw. Cosmos again, 17 in the vote.
Yeah, I've got Cosmos 3-1 winners here.
3-1 winners. Let's see if you are correct as we kick off this latest fixture. Looking hard. Harsh decisions inside the first 10 minutes does not inspire confidence. There's Larsson on 11. opening the scoring for the home side. Big opportunity that for Asta, but Larson has been disallowed. Impressive nonetheless. So it could have been 2. Looks like it might be 2 shortly. Oh, how has he missed? Thierry Henry, I think it was, missing a glorious opportunity to make it 2. Approaching half time. Will Coast rue that miss as Asta just start to create a little bit. One last chance, maybe. No, we get to half time. Both sides created some chances. Coast had one disallowed, but they still go in 1-0 up at the break.
Yeah, pretty fair game again. Asta just unlucky. I think it was last week, wasn't it, when they nearly came from well behind and got something. I think that might have changed their season, but yeah. I think he'll be quite happy though, even though he's 1 down. They're still doing okay. They're not being run over.
Looking at the stats, the thing that jumps out straight away, people in key positions, Baumer, Kerr, Larson, so few touches of the ball.
Yeah, it's quite... We said in the game earlier, didn't we? There wasn't many passes and completion in there. I said when I was saying before, I quite like Larson. I like him in AMC, getting the goal.
Mac is saying this Asta team might be the worst team in Super League history in terms of names in the squad versus points. Jens saying, Alf, what in the world have you done to this Asta squad? When you see them on paper, should they be performing to a much higher level than Alf's currently got them playing to?
Yeah, they should be, definitely. He made some interesting transfers. I think a few people were saying about the transfers, but he wasn't getting anything out of the players he had, so it was probably worth a swap. Different. It's not like they were a huge drop in quality. But yeah, it's just not going for him, is it, at the moment?
Dimble going as is. If I was to ask you now, bottom 2, are you thinking Asta and Triple P?
Yeah. I said at the start that I think it will turn for Asta. I think they will go on a run, but we're running out of games now, aren't we? What, we got 8, 9 to go?
Mm-hmm. So this is game week 17, and there's 26 in a regular league season.
Yeah. So if he wins the next, say 8, what's that give him?
16, so he's on 10 points. That'll give him another 24. That's 34 points.
Probably would just be outside the playoffs with 34. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very bleak for them at the moment.
Yeah. So, I think he'll be disappointed, especially at the start of the season when you saw the squad he had in there. I think strangely though, we all tipped him to do well and he himself didn't. So, perhaps he is right.
Alf wants Salah to come on. I presume he means Salas for Arnold Brujink. And then swap him over to the left-hand side. Mac is saying Alf out.
Salas, I don't think I've ever played him at AMC. I think I'd probably chuck him up front.
Well, let's see if that change does anything for them to get them back into the game. As a load of hashtag various people outs start. And Nelka makes it 2-0, and it's all looking a bit too much again for Asta, isn't it? Hashtag bring on Perlo. My next question for you then, in relation to Asta and Triple P to an extent, who have been equally frustrated by their lack of ability for the most part this season. If you had the opportunity at this stage to take over both, or should I say either, Asta or Triple P, which side are you jumping at the opportunity to take?
If I had to take one, would it be Asta with that squad? Definitely.
And would you expect that you would have the capabilities to get them in a better position than bottom?
No, I don't think there's obviously something not right there. I'd hope to pick up a few points, but you don't know, do you? Like, you think Bern last year, that side was top quality, and he couldn't get a win at all, could he? And look what he's doing now. So I think
It's
it's
very
just
true.
sometimes that's how it is, isn't it? That's yeah.
Etu for Larson and roll, please, is the change from Dimble.
I'll be interested in Neto. I'll let him go. Transfer window. He just wasn't going to get a game for us. So yeah, wouldn't mind seeing him do well.
Materazzi and Ndai on 5s.
Has he got centre back on the bench? No.
Perlo for Pires is the change. Salas up top. Robin behind with an arrow. A tactical change. I mean, we've seen Perlo come on and do stuff for Alf in the past. It seemed something of a shock at the time. Would you be surprised to see him come on and change the game as well?
I don't see it. No. He does like him though, and he built him up. Was it last year when he come on and got a hat trick? Didn't he?
He did indeed. Let's resume then and see if these tweaks can have the desired effect for Asta. 10 minutes go by with nothing happening, and then another 8 minutes, and Thierry Henry makes it 3-0, and that is game, set, and match. Asta continue to be rooted to the bottom of the table with no sign of any improvement at all, really, in results. I mean, they've matched their hosts in terms of chances created, but they're just not scoring goals.
That must be the most frustrating thing for Alf, because I can't remember who it was the other week that took the score off the top and showed the stats. And if you did that, you'd be like, oh, what's that? Maybe a 2-1 win or something for East Coast. But yeah, to not score a goal,
let's have a look. Mark Kerr. I mentioned so few touches bit at half time. He's ended up getting man of the match.
Yeah, with 14 passes. That's interesting. 2 assists though, so there you go. Yeah, I said the build up, I like him as a 1 in midfield. So yeah.
Big performance by Mark Kerr. Toldo as well, continuing to prove his worth at Super League level.
Yeah, I saw that in the squad actually. I'm sure when I was looking earlier, is that East Coast with 3 top quality goalkeepers?
Their current first choice goalkeepers are Toldo, Day, and Kloss.
That's not bad 3, is it? If you're going to have 3 keepers.
Not bad at all. On the flip side, Materazzi and Ndai continue their 5-6s, littered throughout the squad. Only Inzaghi, Robin, and Zanetti performing any better than average at best.
I think if he's going to play Ndai at centre back, then he's probably better cashing him in for 2/3 very good players. He could probably get for him.
Asta should have traded their players for a manager, says Maka. Okay, to save me a DM. Congratulations, Eco Coast, though. Massive win in your pursuit of the top 6. Next, and the one that I said I was most looking forward to, Vikings hosting Fulchester. Here is the Vikings team. With just the one change, I believe, to the starting 11. Desai coming in for Adam, who drops to the bench. Yeah, and a change with goalkeeper as well, with Quinn returning to the 11.
Yeah, Quinn started very well, didn't he? First few games, he was absolutely brilliant. Vikings is an interesting one because, like us, I think us and Vikings were tipped to finish 13th and 14th between us, and we're both going all right. So
let's stop clicking off the screen. That would help. And Pens and Smith continues a front two. In fact, I'm pretty so it was just the Desai change to the starting 11 alongside in terms of outfield players and Quinn. I do like the look of Mpenza and Smith as a duet. Maka said in the chat that this is absolutely must win for the 5th placed Fulchesters. I disagree. I think obviously it's a crucial win if you get it, but it's not an absolute win or bust game. Duggan's suggesting Alf could still name his price for anybody for Ndai. Let's have a look at the Fulchester team. The only alteration is Taribo West, who is unavailable for this game, is replaced by new signing Yap Stan. Oh,
Yeah.
and Seedorf, sorry, no. Seedorf returns after his long-term injury in central midfield.
Yeah, it's a good squad, isn't it? It's much difficult to admit. I think he commented on mine earlier that it was a good lineup, and again, it's a decent side here, isn't it? He's doing really well to get stuff out of Owen. That's good.
Yeah, no, the numbers and Raquelme as well that we mentioned before.
I think Martin was trying to chat him up for Seedorf, but I know if we ask about Seedorf, he's going to want Barthez, Mendieta, and Pizarro for him. So I don't think that's going to be happening quite as much as I'd like Seedorf back.
Do you have a score prediction prepped for this one, please?
I did. What have I gone for again? I should have looked at them all. Where are we? Vikings, Fulchester, 3-1. I went a 3-1 Vikings.
9 people back in Vikings for the win, 7 for the draw, just 3 for the Fulchester win, as the Fulchester manager himself predicts 3-1 Vikings. Let's kick this one off. Fulchester in their very fancy away kit, black and sort of a greyish blue almost. Vikings in their Crystal Palace tribute kit. That is impossible to read when it comes to text commentary, but there we go. Mac is saying, for fuck's sake, nothing's even happened yet. Yellow card awarded. Oh, good opportunity that for Fulchester. I think that's Totti now going in the book. And Luis Enrique on 30. It won't be Totti, obviously, because he doesn't even play for him. 38 minutes on the clock. Luis Enrique gives Fulchester the lead against Vikings. And wow, big moment in a big game.
Yeah, huge moment. He's another player, isn't he? He's gone a bit under the radar, hasn't he, Luis Enrique? But he's done very well for him. I think he's got decent stats.
He certainly has. That will be his 9th goal of the season.
Yeah, very good.
Very impressive indeed. So the Viking stats, Quinn on a 6 at halftime, as is Gamara and Cannavaro. But newly reinstalled to the 11 Desai there, rating at 8, the pick of the players.
Yeah, I think he'll just stick with, to be honest, and trust the players he's got out
there. As for Fulchester, it's all 6s and 7s throughout, but it's a strong team performance thus far.
Yeah. Another assist for Reclamé as well. Be happy with that.
Yen's not happy. Spreadsheet ridiculous is the comment in the chat. Do you see either side making changes at this stage?
No, I think Jens will stick with it. I think he trusts them enough to do it, and Mac will be pleased to be 1 up, so we'll probably stick with it as well.
Jens, as you suggested, as it is till 16, nothing to do here. Fulchester are making a change though. Michael Owen coming off. Batistuta reinstalled into first team action. Just wait confirmation very quickly if Maka wants anything else doing. After his conversation with Ian earlier, I don't think he's going to want to because he would have put them in the same message.
He'll just be slightly concerned about all the yellow cards, I think. But
yeah, just clarification. I did do Michael Owen. He says that's all. Penalty's been awarded, and Nakata with his first ever goal for Fulchester makes it 2-0. And it looks like a long way back for the Vikings. But just as we say that, Smith makes it 2-1. And what a crucial goal that could be, Dan.
Yeah, massive goal. I think Jens will take the draw now, definitely. Slightly disappointed in the centre. Well, Gamera there.
Yeah, Gamera there, rating of 5. But at the top end, Walker and Smith. Oh, sorry. Rating 8 at this stage. Big goal there, says Duggan. Northern Burn on fire, says Maka. Vikings sold their soul in the transfer window, suggests Tato. Is Red or Etsabaria going to offer anything that isn't already there for them in terms of an attacking sense?
It's whether he trusts Totti or not, isn't it? Difficult one.
What would you be doing in this situation?
I've never ever got anything out of Totti, so I think I'd be swapping him for one of them two.
Okay, interesting.
Or maybe.
Yeah. Well, we wait. Oh no, we've got the clarification there. Van Bommel for Etsabaria. Totti to MC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a reason the other teams wanted rid of those high-profile players, says Tato. Those high-profile players are looking down at badges in the table, FYI. Mac is saying roll. He's quite content at the moment, just very briefly, in the interest of fairness. Show their stats up on the screen, but Mac are happy to roll. So with what you've seen in terms of change from Vikings, it is a positive one. You would argue, are they going to get back into it?
Yeah, he's got to go for it, isn't he? Be really happy with a draw from here. So
another yellow card handed out. Oh, I'm just about to slow it down. Vieri make sure that the points go to Fulchester. 3-1 to the away side. And now they come forward looking for a fourth. They can't get it, but massive win. And again, another one of those where stats suggest it was quite even, Dan, but...
Yeah, looks even, doesn't it? But that's a huge, huge win for Fulchester, isn't it? Absolutely massive.
Oh, mate, it's unbelievable how big a win that is in the course of the season. Despite losing, Desai picking up man of the match.
Yeah, so you look at that, that's not horrendous ratings, is it? A couple of sixes, you would have hoped for a bit more from Duff. But yeah, Jens will be disappointed. But it's a good side. He's played a good side, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Let's have a look at that good side. And again, it's mixed rated trial. There's a few sixes in there, mainly sevens and a couple of eights. Just a solid away team performance.
Yeah, took their chances. Did well. See if he still wants a redraft now.
Oh, I'm sure he does. But in the meantime, congratulations, Fulchester, on a massive 3-1 win. And this is ultimately the penultimate game because of the Ghost one. Oh, no, this is the last one, isn't it? Because we wanted to start with you. So we've done the teams. Oh, it's flown by tonight.
Yeah.
Just a quick refresh of what the teams look like. Here is the Gazelles lineup. With Mendieta moved back into central midfield. And here is the Celtics team with that just wall of tough tackling defensive players that you're going to need to get through. As is customary, Dan, I won't ask you for prediction. I will just wish you and the Sleeping Beauty that is Greavesy the very best of luck. Did I confirm? I don't think I did. The predictions for your game.
No. Yeah, tough game for us tonight, especially with the way the results have gone. So, could really do with this one.
Jens saying a redraft won't do anything, to be honest. Game is based on a notebook spreadsheet. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's kick off the final game of the evening. Gazelles at home to Celtics. Remember Dan saying during the preview that he'd prefer to be the underdog. Didn't like that most people were backing him for the win. Let's see if his side can live up to the favourites tag that they have on them. And opportunity there. And there's a red card. 2 early yellows for Zay Elias.
Wasn't he sent off in our game before?
No, Redondo was.
He swapped for Redondo and got sent off.
Zay Elias got injured. We know Greavesy is in bed, so I will just move Gattuso over and we will play on. And was it a penalty or just a straight red?
I don't think so.
Let's just resume the action. Oh, no, it's a free kick. I forgot to ask if you wanted to change anything. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No. Perhaps I should have.
The 10-minute Celtics take the lead through Raul. And there's 2-0, Short Gatos. What has happened to the 11 men of Gazelles? Shevchenko gets it all wrong with the last attempt of the half. But Dan, despite the man advantage and level in terms of chances created, you find yourself 2-0 down.
Yeah, I think up until the sending off, we were much the better side. So it's interesting.
Very quickly, just show the Celtic stats again with no Greavesy. We won't be doing anything here. But here's yours. And what instantly jumps out at you? Because you've seen plenty of the ball.
Yeah, Saviola not being involved very much, has he? So, yeah, got to do something a bit different.
Tato saying, fuck me, get that keeper off. Gazelles down.
No, Bartes don't go off. No way.
Would you like to make any alterations at all?
Yeah, can we do Sagnol for Neville?
You certainly can.
And can we go to 2 up top? So put Saviola up front.
Like that?
Yep.
Lovely. So that's the changes done. And we resume the action. Gazelles needing a goal back and quick to really have time to affect this game in a positive fashion. As we reach the hour mark and the chance goes into the side netting for Gazelles, the manager will not be happy about that. So, Dan, what are you going to do to improve things here?
Can we move Arca and Sagnol up? Actually, we'll just make the arrows longer. Yeah.
Like that?
Yep. Cheers.
Anything in addition?
No, we'll go with that.
Okay. Let's resume the action on the hour mark. A WTAF from Maka in the chat. Yellow card handed out, I believe, to Effenberg this time. And time just ticking away. Gazelles really not forcing the issue enough here. And even worse, in injury time, new signing Willie Sagnol has to be taken off injured.
Yeah, swapping with Mendieta and then Adilson on.
There you go. As we just resume the action, and there's the final whistle. Disappointing night. Nothing at all happened really in that second half, Dan.
No, really disappointing. Really strange game in that we were far the better side until the sending off, and then just got worse.
Look at your side stats first. Mendieta there, seeing a lot of the ball, and maybe just needs to be a bit more clinical with passes. I appreciate it's only 9 in 40 odd that he's missed, but those 9 are crucial in his position.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, they're not horrendous stats, are they? Really?
No.
There's quite a few 8s in there. Pizarro's an interesting 8, considering one shot from the striker.
Shorgatos, who scored the second, picking up man of the match for his 9 out of 10 performance. Strong all round, with only Beckham getting below a 7. We said at the start it was about breaking through that wall, and even with one of those walls sent off, they looked very good defensively, didn't they?
Yeah, really strong. Yeah, completely restricted us. So
yeah,
very disappointing, especially with the way the results went tonight.
Congratulations to Celtics, who pick up.
Yeah, well played, Greavesy.
So here's a classified. Good morning, gentlemen. Claxon, says Maka. So here's the confirmed results from tonight. Dragons beat Haggis 2-0. Coast beat Astor 3-0. Celtics, as we've just seen, winning 2-0 away at Gazelles. Burn winning 3-0 at home to Stanley. In one of only 2 games where both teams scored. Fulchester won 3-1 away at Vikings. Casuals beat Rose 2-0. And at the very bottom there, White Rose drawing with Badgers. Leaves the table looking like this. Burn now 6 points clear of Coast, who are 2 clear of Fulchester and Vikings, who are further point clear of yourself in 5th, Dan. Casuals make up the top 6 on 26. Then we've got 3 teams there: Dragons, Haggis, Bostock, all on 25. Who would have thought Bostock dropping out of the top 6 altogether? 2 points then the gap to Celtics and Badgers. And then we've got Triple P, White Rose, and Astor completing the table. We've got the quarterfinals of the Cup on Thursday. Commentary is available. If you'd like to do it, please let me know. Team news will follow for the 8 sides involved in that. But Dan, just while I click through a few screens here, any final comments from you?
No, a decent few games tonight. Absolute shame about us. Really could have done with a win there tonight. But we've got a nasty roll of games coming up as well. So, yeah. Which
includes, I believe you said earlier, Northern Burn twice, both in the Cup and then the League.
Yeah, Cup and then the, as I said, I won both my Cup games, took it seriously, and then drew the team top of the table. So that's just how it goes.
Absolute nightmare how that happens, isn't it? But no, thank you very much for stepping in when you did. You've been excellent value as always on CoComs, and I hope you get into that nice, comfortable kitchen again very, very soon.
Cheers. No, I've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been good. Well, apart from the result, it's been good.
Excellent. Well, from me and from Dan, until Thursday, this has been CMSL. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you on Thursday. Good night, everybody.